about like being the best wife so that you can, I don't know, create a relationship with your husband. And one of the big things, she spent a whole month on it, was like self-care, of like, you know, buying yourself things you like,
getting massages.
Doing what you like, filling yourself up. Because it was so funny, like, I don't know, I never like went and bought myself lotion and different things, I don't know, whatever. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy myself like hand soaps and lotion I like. And I went to this store, and like, I don't know, I was never really into it. I'm always like allergic to everything, so like I like tried to like find something I wasn't allergic to, whatever. So I went and like spent a good amount of time and like money, and like I wasn't very happy about it at the moment, you know, whatever. And so I got home, and like the first thing I wanted to do was just like go put it all on my daughter, you know, and she's like, cool, like, you know, whatever. So it's like everything you do for yourself, it just spreads out, you know. And like, and now it's like anytime I use it, it's like a, you know, it takes 30 seconds and then it's like gives me like a certain amount of like calmness to go back and give more, you know. So it's just like those little things that
it's so hard, because in our nature, and we're going to talk about it, we're big nurturers.
Oh, it's
so we spoke about we spoke, if you're not comfortable, it's totally fine, because they could hear you from here.
Okay.
So it is distracting, but there's a few people who couldn't come tonight and asked me for it. I'm kind of like not so crazy about it, because it does distract me when you see yourself talk. Okay, so let's just do, because we don't have a lot of time. Personal Yeud, your gift to give to the world. Tikkun, how do you define Tikkun?
Okay, so the
Tikkun is that one thing that if you fixed, or the one or two things if you fixed,
that it would help every other area in your life, or about every other area. Like it would elevate it, or you would see a difference, or like, it's like those, like, it's interesting. Rabbi Niven says, in sometimes like around like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur time, he says, we're not looking for like the little things. Let's say, for example, like, I missed a bracha here or there. I don't know, like little things. We're looking for the root of them.
The root of the Devorah.
Yeah, the root of it. So like, okay, so why was that? Is it from a lack of appreciation, or is it from I'm just so busy I can't stop myself? So if I'm very busy and doing things, then like I'm not giving attention to this, I'm probably also doing that to other people. So okay, so the core root might be like rushing too much, like having more peace of mind, or you know, focus in my life or something. So it's those core things that he says. So the tikkun is, you know, there could be a lot of things, but it's just the one or two,
from a root,
just like the one or two root things that you feel like would just in some way it would affect a lot of other areas of what you're doing in your life.
Awesome.
Isn't it essential to get to Yeud?
Is it essential?
If you don't work on the tikkun, can you get to your Yeud?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes if you see, like, you could start fulfilling your Yeud, and then you feel like something's blocking you. A lot of times that's your tikkun. And then so like Hashem kind of puts that. I feel like Hashem is like, you know, I don't know, I heard this song, it's like Hashem, it's like our compass. He tells us like, you know, which direction to go. So like whenever you feel like something is like, oh, I'm getting blocks right now, that's your indication to say, okay, let me look into what's blocking me, figure my tikkun a little bit out. And then sometimes like once, it might even take a few months, a year, whatever, like however long it is that Hashem sends you in that direction. And then your Yod's going to be a lot stronger when you come back to it. It's just, I don't know, like
what is more important? To try to find your tikkun and fix it, or to find your Yod?
Yeah.
It's a simultaneous thing, really, right?
I think so. I mean, I think even in the day, there's Yod moments and there's tikkun moments. Every day you have both. It's kind of like part of your life. But sometimes there's periods in your life where it's like, okay, I'm in like a 2-month tikkun period, and it's hard, and you're struggling through. And then sometimes it's just like, wow, like I'm just flying in this area that's easy for me. And Rabbi Niven even says some people are, you know, 90% Yod people and 20% or whatever, 10% tikkun, and some people are, you know, the opposite, like 90% tikkun and 10% Yod, and like, or it could be 50-50 or 20, you know, everyone has a different percentage of how much tikkun work and how much Yod work and like in their life. But
okay. So, yeah,
for sure.
They impact each other.
Sometimes you're in a place in your life where you're messing up so badly. So you might have great aspirations, you're connecting with the whole world, you're inspiring, or whatever it is, but on the inside, interpersonal is really bad, and you know what I'm saying? So you just have to like just shut down and say, okay, closing shop, going inside, going home. Gotta deal with tikkun, you know? It's like I had like these weeks where I just have to go back in and do very, very basic, going back to very, very basic, you know? Halavai, I go through the day without killing my kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I get to that point where I just, okay, strip everything else, forget community, forget teaching, and just say bare minimum right now. And it doesn't mean that I'm giving up the other things that I want to do and are good at, and Hashem brought me to the world here for, right? So it's really bottom line about balance.
The tikkun is also what he brought you to the world, you know?
Yeah,
like-
he brought, that's what I'm saying. But you almost say like, oh, but it's a gift, I got to give it. If I don't do it, yeah, but there's a time and place for that gift. Let's say someone says, I'm really good at giving classes, but like really her kids are falling apart because she's never home.
Right.
You know, I remember listening to this rabbi, and he's hysterical, this Rabbi Orlovsky. He was in our community, and it was a parenting class. And he started it with the funniest thing. He said, I was asked to give a parenting class, and I was thinking of a good title for this class, and I was thinking a good title for this is Why Do Bad Things Happen to Good People? It's like everybody started laughing. And he said, I also don't understand why they asked me to give parenting classes, because I'm flying all over the world. I'm a scholar resident, and I'm giving classes about parenting all over the world, but there's no one to parent my kids, so you really don't want to listen to me. He's just funny like that, but the truth is that we have to think about it sometimes. Like we can't just be like, sometimes our Yeud is more internal, and sometimes it's more global in the right time, you know, in the right time. And sometimes it never becomes global, you know what I'm saying? Let's say someone says, my Yeud is to learn Kabbalah and to grow in the study of Kabbalah. Okay, that's their Yeud, you know, that's what they feel. Okay, we are going now to feminine Yeud, because I think like this.
With the tikkun, if they're interested, is I've done it before where you time for 1 minute and you write down and you only do it for a minute. It's very
Okay.
helpful. Or you write down all the negative traits, and then you take 1 more minute, and then you find the top like 2 or 3 ones.
Okay, if you want to do that, you guys want to do a tikkun moment for a minute? Yeah?
Is that helpful? Sometimes it's
So-
helpful to do it like in 2
so
minutes, and then
under,
you're like,
you could do it behind any
I'm
of
gonna
these
get a
pages.
timer. Yeah.
So for
I
1
have
minute,
extra tikkun.
1 minute, just write down. That's fine.
Okay.
For 1 minute, write down your negative.
I'm gonna
traits.
actually time it. So like whatever.
Their negative traits.
Yeah, like the
Negative-
I mean the negative
Anything that
traits.
comes to your mind that you want to fix. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, I found it very helpful. Do you want note cards? Do you write them on a note?
Is what you're,
The challenging things, like the things that hold you back, or like
You know what I
always
really-
like if you just like ever since you were little, like oh I never had patience, and you still are struggling with that patience. You know, like it's like those things that keep on following you. Like
You know what I liked
If
what
you want
Sarah
note
said is those things that hold you back. You know what I'm saying? We all know that elephant in the room keeps coming back and back in our life. It could even be one of these things are self-doubt. Maybe you just always
or
doubt
low
yourself.
confidence or
Low
yeah.
confidence. That could be like your tikkun is to believe in yourself more. What?
The tikkun present impacts that and causes.
Because you're doing introspection. No, but again, introspection, cheshbon nefesh, to come from a place of not beating yourself up. It's saying, here's my challenge. I'm doing the best that I can. But the tikkun shouldn't cause us to hate ourselves more.
But if we're not dealing with our tikkun, I mean, we know.
Oh,
so
I
that's
hear what you're
gonna-
saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
That's
could
gonna
cause
be-
more low self-confidence.
exactly.
No, but I heard from what he said. It was very funny. It's like if you see that you have a list of 100 negative character traits, the real thing is probably low self-confidence, or
Right.
like not believing in yourself, or
Yeah,
like
meaning-
not feeling good about yourself.
Right,
You know?
if your
Like-
list is too long, you have a low self-esteem issue. That's your tikkun. Start loving yourself more.
Right.
Okay?
Once you attack your tikkun, you feel better about yourself.
for sure.
Totally, yeah.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
gonna improve your self-esteem right away.
Totally.
Okay, so I'm gonna time 1 minute to write down the negative traits, and then we'll do another minute of just anything that comes to your mind, and then about tikkun, any negative characteristics that you feel like could be it, and then we'll do another 30 seconds or a minute to find the top 2 or 3. Okay, ready, set, go. Well, yeah.
Got too cold. I was like, trying to find my balance.
Thank you.
Why? We have to what?
Maybe I'll let you read it.
Are you letting me read it?
You just could laugh.
No, it's not for us. We're not sharing. It's for you.
And it's honest.
No, it's okay. But I'm saying we don't.
No,
have
you don't.
to share.
Yeah, you don't have to share if it's okay.
You wanted me to.
You will be so scared when you see my list. So
Okay, 15 more seconds.
But isn't it
These are my main
called-
ones.
when a person comes back, when they come back into a new life and they come back, we come back for a reason to fix our tikkun.
right.
Now, what I was told, something
Okay,
that's
that's
easy
the minute.
in your life that you're doing is not the tikkun.
Right.
Tikkun is something that's very hard,
Challenging. Yeah.
that's challenging you. That's a tikkun.
So that's exactly what I say. Yeud is like the thing you could do all day. It's you're passionate. You're in your element. Tikkun is that thing that's holding you back. It's like, oh, you so wish you didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I wish I didn't have it, but it hasn't. Yeah, well,
You
what
know,
I have
but also what you have to understand something about tikkun is it's hashgacha, like meaning this trait that you have that it's negative. It's sometimes it's what makes you a better person in the end. If you work on it, if you work on it and fix it,
Well, this
you're-
tikkun that I have, I've had it since I was a kid, and I'm still working on it.
The good news is if we keep working and working, that
I'm still
means
working
that
on it.
it takes sometimes 120 years.
Yes. And
Baruch
after
Hashem.
that, then that's all. These two things, that's all I have.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I can't get. I'm gonna have to come back again.
No. You're good. You're not getting recycled.
No, but sometimes.
So
Oh, you have to leave at
yeah, I
9?
wanna make
Okay.
sure that we get to feminine.
Okay.
Oh, we'll do this. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
ready? I'm gonna do one more minute. Okay. Just
What?
circle the top 2 or 3. Okay. Ready, set, go.
Year after year, I'm on yours. It's resolution.
Okay.
Okay. I think everyone almost.
Yeah, let's go into the traits and
Yeah,
then
let's
do
go.
that.
So
Okay,
can we go
so-
every other one? Like I'll do.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
there. Okay.
So, guys, go to this page because we're.
Okay, I think everyone finished,
Yeah.
so we're gonna keep
Yeah.
going.
So
Yeah.
the tikkun now is a little bit more clear for you guys versus
Yes.
what Yeud is, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so now we're going to feminine traits of our mothers. And why do we have to learn about the matrix? Because really we're made in their spiritual DNA. You know how you find yourself doing things like your mom, even things you didn't want to do? But so Baruch Hashem, we're made in the spiritual DNA of the matriarchs. That means we have their power within us. Okay, so you all, we could share this?
Okay, fine.
I think I have one more. Yeah? Okay, here.
Fine.
So we
Yeah.
are,
The chart.
we're starting with Chav. You see the chart where it says feminine traits?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you want to start with Chava?
Okay, so Chava was created from his rib, and Adam was created from the dust. So Chava was innately at a higher spiritual level. So that's all women have that. Chava was a supporter, whether she supported, she had the potential to support and guide in the right way, whether she didn't, but she did have that potential. She was created as a companion. Adam was lonely and he needed a companion, and that was when she came, when her role existed. And connection, I guess she's just connected. I don't know. But at the bottom it says the core traits of all of our mothers. They all had amuna, belief in Hashem, and very strong, real relationship and connection to Hashem, and knowing that and that intuition, feeling what was right and what was wrong, what how that goes together with that connection to Hashem. And they all had a very, very strong power of prayer that really Hashem listened to their prayers first a lot of times over their husbands. So go ahead to Sarah.
So the other thing that united all the matriarchs is that they were all prophetess. So we are
That's
all,
true.
in a certain way, we're neviot. We are all prophetess, little neviot, right? So I was reading something beautiful, the Shabbos from Rebbe Yemima Mizrahi, and she said one of the segulot of Chanukah, it's a very auspicious time. When you look at the candle, if you have a particular issue that you have a question about, you should sit in front of the candle, and she said the gaze at the candles is very healing. It actually fixes. It's a tikkun for anything bad you've ever seen with your eyes. It's also a tikkun for perception, bad perception, because it all correlates to our eyes. And she said you could actually get answers through the Hanukkah lights. Wow. So she said take time, right? There's a thing where you shouldn't work for 30 minutes. I always find it so hard because that's when I want to do dishes or I might give kids bath. It's just to bask in the light, literally bask in the light. Sit down and gaze at the light of the Hanukkah candles. If you have a specific dilemma, to marry, not marry, should I do this or that? She said, ask Hashem for the answer. Look into the Hanukkah candles. She said the answer will come to you because there's prophecy inside the Hanukkah candles. Okay. Now, anyways, we are prophetess, right? We're daughters of Neviot. We're B'nai Nevi'im and Neviot. So we have it within us. It's not at the same level, right? We obviously don't have Nevuah and prophecy the way that our matriarchs and patriarchs lived their lives, you know? They used to say that in Jerusalem in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, even the little kids had prophecy. So when people would come to Jerusalem pilgrimage up to Jerusalem, they ended up getting their answer from the little kids playing in the streets. They never even needed the Cohen Gadol. They'd go there, they're coming from Tel Aviv, walking. This is before we had, by the way, this is so cool. It took a train it's a new train now, from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv, 22 seconds.
I want to go.
Yeah, it's insane.
22 minutes.
22 minutes.
I was like,
no, they beam us up. That would be crazy. It would be like, yeah, that's science fiction. That's going through like Star Trek. Yeah, in the future, yeah. 22 minutes from Jerusalem to Ben Gurion and another 10 minutes to Tel Aviv. Very awesome experience.
Oh my
And I don't remember why I went to this conversation.
The people were coming from Tel Aviv.
Coming to Tel Aviv, making it to Jerusalem, and there was so much wisdom. The kids used to prophesy, and they'd be, "Why coming to Jerusalem?" And they'd playing in the streets. That's what I love about Jerusalem. Kids are so comfortable there, and say, "I'm having an issue. I don't know what to do," and it tells us your problem. And they would recite to the kids their issue, and the kids said, "You should do this, this, this." They got it. It was unbelievable. Yerushalayim milashon shalem, whole. That Jerusalem gave people completeness, wholeness. Even till today, you go to Jerusalem, you feel your neshama's in the right place. Like you're like, wow. There's certain insights, Yeah. I was just in Israel, and for 2 Motzei Shabbos, I went to the Kotel Saturday night, and then there was a class for women from midnight till 3 a.m. in Kever David HaMelech, in King David's tomb. And it was amazing. I'm sitting there with my mom, totally not tired. And I was like, the whole night, I couldn't sleep. I was like on fire. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. 3 a.m. I'm sitting here, I'm listening to that class, Amazing, right? So we have this potential to hook up to the spirituality because we're their daughters, okay? So we're going to go into Sarah, conviction, strong, but not fighting, prayer, teacher, inspirer. You know that she had her own tent that she would teach. She was assertive, but assertive not in an aggressive way, right? She sees she is the mother of the heir of the Jewish, her son is going to be the heir of the Jewish people. Judaism is going to come out of him. She was afraid of bad influence. Ishmael's on the internet. He's cursing. He's not behaving. He's going to casinos, She's like, no. This can't work for my son, right? She had intuition. She had a goal. She knows she's supposed to bring the Jewish legacy. Self-assurance, doing what's right, a goal-oriented, integrity, keeping our principles. Sense right and wrong. Use beauty for purpose of modesty. Emotional connections, You want to do Rivka?
Yeah. Okay. So Rivka, she was a very like a back door, and that's also like a feminine trait of not like you sense like when you can say something and when you need to, like move around the situation so they could like figure it out themselves, or like go around or say I don't know, that's more to Devorah, but so
no,
she
but
was,
also she was like that, like she orchestrated the whole bracha because she knew that Esav was incapable of receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
So she orchestrated that whole production, right? That Yaakov would get the blessing. So she's strategic, definitely strategic. She goes about it in a back door. She's not coming in, sorry, you can't give him the bracha. It wouldn't have worked,
And she kind of recognizes like what, almost like what her husband can handle, what he can't in a way, because you were explaining last week that he was, her husband was like almost like half angel, and his like when the Akedas Yitzchak, I guess you said the Malachim were crying in his eyes and he was blind. So like it was, he had a certain like sensitivity to him, and she knew how to go around that. So like I see like nowadays it's kind of like, either whether someone has an ego, I don't know, at work or husband or whatever, like, we're very sensitive to know, okay, like, I'm not going to start up with like that ego thing. I'm gonna go use it, work around it, go around. Yeah. Whether it be like influencing a situation or saying things at the right time or whatever. So keeping male ego intact. She does a lot more than she actually says, and she influences in a very positive way, but not being manipulative. So so those are good traits. So.
Rachel has her big trait, as we know, silence, shtika, humility. Only Hashem and I know about good deeds. So like, meaning she's not doing this to get a good status. She's not getting this to get a good status on Facebook or Instagram. Like what she's doing is like truly for Hashem's sake. She's worried about her relationship with Hashem. So I'll go for a minute into Judaism with Leah and Rachel. We'll see the difference between them. Self-sacrifice from a full place without resentment, right? So she's really giving to her sister the love of her life, right? To not embarrass her, and she goes along with that. Wholesome giver, really giving for the purpose of giving without like holding a grudge or making a list. Oh, I did this for you. What are you doing for me? The difference between Rachel and Leah, Leah, everybody knows about Rachel's shtika ro'emet. It's a very loud silence, right? But Leah even has such a loud silence that we never even heard about it. Leah is always like, she's an afterthought. It's like Yaakov didn't really want her, and then he doesn't really. And the whole thing of Leah is so incredible. Her perseverance, not taking no for an answer. Okay? She cried and cried and cried. From the time she's little, they say, no, you're not going to get a tzaddik. You're going to have to marry Esav. And she's like, no, not on my watch. I'm not marrying a Rasha, a wicked man, right? In the end, she cries and cries and cries. What she does, she transforms reality, and she changes her destiny. That's a big quality of women. We could change not just our destiny, but the destiny of our kids and our husbands and our surrounding through prayer, through teshuvah, through determination. Okay? That's a very important trait. What was that thing with the Judaism?
Oh, is that Leah says to Rachel, she says, first you took my husband, and now you're taking my Judaism, the flowers that were for fertility. And so Rachel doesn't say anything. It shows us that Leah never even knew that Rachel gave her husband. She didn't even realize the chesed that she did. So it shows us that like Rachel's they say like when you do a chesed out of that no one else knows, it's just between me and Hashem, or like give charity or something, it's like that's at a much higher level. So that was the level of Rachel's chesed, and the self-sacrifice with no resentment. It says that she really struggled inside of her, if she should really do this or not. And she actually like got rid of all her jealousy before she went and did. So she really didn't have any resentment in doing something. So like I
think you have that kind of feeling when you're connected with God. When God is guiding you, that makes you very close to God.
Right.
She had it.
All of them.
Right.
They're real.
Right.
To do all that,
Right.
that in any kind of emotional baggage or any kind of residual anything, it has to be you're with God.
Totally. That was like also one of the big traits of our matriarchs, why Hashem chose the patriarchs and the matriarchs to be the mothers and fathers of Judaism, is that what guided them was their relationship with God. It was all about the question that they asked themselves every day was, how could I give God, my creator, nachat? How could I give him joy? Can you imagine we operate our day of how could I make Hashem proud today? How could I give God joy? Okay, so their whole premises was about tikkun olam, how to make this world a better place, how to create a better relationship with God, with people with God. Definitely what I would say also a big trait that they had, and women have this, is bridge builders, right? They're always connecting and networking and creating unity,
Make it positive.
right? Because you understand,
Elevate.
elevating,
Strong
inspiring.
people.
They were living in pagan society, so they brought the idea of God into the world. So they connected people. They basically connected heaven with earth. You know,
Exactly.
that's like something that women could do. How do we do it? Through the mundane. Really, really the mundane. It's like someone's got to do the dishes. Someone's got to raise the kids up. So we are very busy with the mundane and cooking, and sometimes feels very menial. Like, ooh, I don't know. I really want to be somewhere else right now, right? But someone's got to do that, right? Leah, perseverance, she never gives up, balance, power of will, tefillah, prayer. I'm going to kind of skim through this because I
You're
want to get
perfect, yeah,
to, we're running out of time. Devorah, she's a builder. She elevates. She nurtures potential. The story of Devorah. Her husband wasn't a knowledgeable guy, but in a roundabout way, she got him very involved in bringing things to the temple. In the end, he becomes very immersed and involved. And she didn't go to her husband, I'm sick and tired of the fact that you're not a Talmid Chacham, okay? I deserve a scholar, a rabbi, and you just don't fit the bill, So like the way she went about it is completely smarter, okay? Power of will to feel, so we said that. And kept the family forefront while being a leader. When the end of her life, when she sings what we call Shirat Devorah, did they make you learn that by heart? Yeah. Yeah.
Sixth grade, I couldn't get into swimming class until
I know. So in Israel, they make you learn it. They make you learn this poem, this like praise to Hashem that Devorah wrote. And if you don't, you're dead. No, but it's really cool. Like I remember, and she says that. What does she say? She says what I'm most proud of, God, was to be a mother in Israel. Not that she was a leader and a fighter, and she was a judge. She was like a rabbi. People came to her for psaks, right? And she says, Sha'iti em b'Yisrael, a mother in Israel. That was like the crown of everything, that she did say, oh, my career and this and that. She had a lot to be proud of. She was a major, major career woman. No, she raised her kids. That was her pride and joy. Miriam, belief in darkest, belief in Hashem in darkest moments, and gratitude. Miriam, she's a little girl, but yet she totally affects all of history. She says, Abba, it's not right. You're killing also the girls, right? And she makes them get back together, and then she orchestrates to bring her mother to nurse Moshe. You see these beautiful traits of the Jewish women. Okay, so here's what we're doing now. What?
Oh, Chana,
there's
yeah, she
so
didn't
many
fit on
of
here.
them.
But Chana, yeah, you could say
There's
a little
Chana,
bit.
Yael.
Yeah.
Chana, we learned the power of tefillah from. And we see that she completely transforms nature. She's barren, like she physically, biologically cannot have kids. And we learn all the laws of prayer from Chana. That the laws of Shmoneh Esrei, that she's whispering, and that she goes on, and every year, and she just doesn't give up. Now, why am I skimming through this? Because I want you guys to get to the meat and potatoes, which is some of the workshop exercise. So you all have this paper that says feminine Yeud on it. And
Wait, if you already did this, I have another one. Did you?
you did the marriage? Did you do the marriage one
No,
already?
the marriage.
Not the marriage. Okay. So some of you that were here last time, you'll do the marriage one. And those of you that weren't here last
You
time,
could just pass this around.
you could all get
Yeah.
to keep it. Those who are not married will be married
No,
soon.
it's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's for marriage
so
and children also.
marriage and
those
children.
two, yeah.
Feminine Yeud. So the question number one is, these are my feminine traits that I connect to. From this list, and whatever knowledge that you have from the past of the traits of the matriarchs, what are the top feminine traits that you connect to? Or that you feel you possess, or you aspire, you would like to have? Anything that you could connect to.
When you were talking about.
Yeah, that's okay.
I
So
have
do
more.
this one first. So the one we're doing is it's feminine Yeud. These are the feminine traits I connect to, and just take them off of the piece of paper that we just read from.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Second,
So do you have another one here? This is
the feminine Yeud. The second question is for people that are listening. How do I use my feminine traits in the world, either at work, other situations, and home? And my feminine Yeud is, you got to come up with a mission statement at the end. For example, to connect to Hashem and give to others from a full place.
Okay, perfect.
And I want you to keep in the back of your mind as you're doing this, and I'm going to be quiet to let you think. Is there a connection between your personal Yeud and your feminine Yeud? Okay? Because you see, we're feminists. We are women, right? I'm saying We are feminine, I was trying to say. And we can't divorce ourselves from this. Okay, we are not men. Okay, and a man is not a woman, right? So we have different Yeuds, just it's called a gender Yeud. And then we have on a personal, individual level, our own personal Yeud, that gift that we have to give to the world, okay? But from a feminine point of view, I'll be quiet, and if you could write it down, it helps when you write. I just want to bring that to my nature. You got your page, the one with the Cosmic Mastermind?
Yeah, this year. It's really good. Okay, I'm just typing in the questions. Does anyone want to share what feminine traits they connect to? Yeah, go ahead. If you want. Yeah, no.
So intuition, compassion, seeing the potential in others, seeing the good in others, situation. This is really great here. So, fearing desire, having faith in the long-term outcome of situations, keeping myself in touch with God.
It's beautiful. So it's so amazing because, like, you know, some people, really even though there's all these feminine traits, we all have this unique way of like connecting them. It was funny because we were, I don't know, I think in one of the other classes, one woman was like, I just, it's so easy for me to like build other people up with words. And she's like, I have such a hard time with boundaries. And this other lady was like, I'm so good with boundaries. Oh my gosh, I need to work on my words. And so it's so funny because really like we have such unique ways of expressing those.
Mm-hmm.
And what we were noticing in last class was that like those feminine traits, they're very connected to our personal Yeud also. It's like, I don't know, but like if you see it, if there's any connection to it, but I was like, it was the first time that I realized that. I'm like, wow, they're like, they're so connected that like we just can't. Yeah. So I don't know if that's something that you
can't
notice.
run from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like,
We are
yeah.
It's
feminine.
positive. It's positive.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure,
very
it's
positive.
positive. Yeah, yeah.
Here's my theory why they're connected. So like mine, I'll just share with you
Yeah.
the work I'm doing, okay? My mission statement for my Yeud, my personal Yeud, okay? Yeud is a mission, okay? My personal mission statement is to inspire and elevate and connect women, one another and to God, okay? And I see myself as a bridge builder, okay? And my feminine traits, that I'm a very good nurturer and connector,
Wow.
right? And that is my feminine Yeud, to connect and to nurture. So it's not divorced from my personal Yeud, which is this part of me that teaches and connects, and I'm kind of like a rabbi's wife. Kind of, I am. But literally, like as I come home right now, there's a couple, I'm not saying their name, but they're about to kill each other. So we like just didn't want them calling the police on one another. So I was like, come, don't go anywhere, don't get radical. I'm gonna finish my class tonight. Like really, I just want to get in pajamas, you know, and watch like I don't know, solving crime kind of thing. But like we'll have to talk and mediate, you know. And it's not something that I could run. Sometimes I could put boundaries, and it's not a good time. Right now, it's SOS. We got to save this marriage, right? So it's like my feminine traits that I'm using with my family, my kids, and you know, are very much connected because it's things that we're good at, or that we'll connect to, that we feel connection to. That is our feminine traits. Okay, that's a feminine Yeud. Now it could be that it's much easier. For me, it's true. It's much easier for me to connect with than with my own family. You know what I'm saying? It's like my kids need therapy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this half jokingly, but sometimes it's easier to have this like amazing connections out there, but your interpersonal relationships, like your own family, is falling apart. You know, the idea is to merge your personal Yeud with your feminine Yeud, because you see, being feminine and embracing it and not trying to be a man, just trying to be who you are, the best of who you are, is actually what's so beautiful about it. So it brings amazing light into the world. You know what I'm saying? Like people say, do you wear the pants in the house? No, I proudly wear my skirt. Like meaning, but I'm wearing the skirt doesn't mean I'm not calling shots. You know what I'm saying? So you embrace that femininity in you, and that actually it's your qualities, it's your strength. And I think the big prayer is halavai we could merge our feminine Yeud with our personal Yeud, with our marriage Yeud, you know? And it's work in progress. It doesn't mean like, it takes time. And your tikkun could get in the way, you know, and life could get in the way, you know. So it's finding that balance. And if you've not figured it out, that's why we're here for 120 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes time. It takes time. So
I like what like Rabbi Niven said, like the woman is the interior minister of the house and the male is the exterior minister. So it's like, I guess I don't know, there's a lot of like sources of that, just like women are receivers and we build things into bring them into potential, and men are like they're you know, going out into the world and kind of like exemplifying those like godly traits and all that, you know, whatever they're doing. And so it's interesting because like they say about like the feminist movement that it nullified the interior minister's job. It says, nope, there is no interior minister. Everyone's an exterior minister now. It's like, well, how is the world supposed to exist without someone like, you know, nurturing the next generation? Like that's how all of our Judaism was passed down, through the interior minister. Like they're almost like they're the queen of the house. Like, okay, like the man is the head and the woman is the neck, like, so it's like,
He's moving the
right.
direction of the head, right? Yeah,
She takes care of the
So,
inner
right.
yeah.
right.
My parents, my father didn't want my mother to work.
Yeah.
He wanted her home.
Yeah.
He didn't want her ruined by the outside world. She was so idealistic and so
Yeah.
beautiful. He wanted her to keep her that way. And he's afraid if she saw what was going on in that work world out there, she would really get upset and jaded. Didn't ruin her.
Yeah. And I think there's a way to combine in our generation.
For sure. Different personalities, a different thing.
and
Like
also
everyone can
different
do their
times,
own thing.
different
Yeah.
times.
He
You know?
eventually let her work with her his best friend.
Yeah.
You see, like Devorah was outside, and there were some matriarchs that were that used their feminine traits externally.
Right.
It doesn't, but they weren't external. They were always had that role of the interior minister, but they were able to do things externally.
Right.
And there were some matriarchs that were very internal, and like that's what my Niven says. He says some women have a role of a moon of just reflecting back what their husband gives, and they're very satisfied and comfortable and happy in that role. And some women are a moon sun, where their moon, they reflect back their husband and do their job, but they're a sun too. Like they want to they want to influence in other ways,
Yeah.
So like like I don't know, one of my friends I speak to on the phone, I talk with her through Rabbi Nevin's Devorah. She's a very content like wife, and I'm just like, no, like I'm just like, I have a greater thing to be doing. Like I'm happy with that, but like I need more to be fulfilled,
Exactly.
Yeah, so
And it's interesting. You look at Avram and Sarah. They were both running outreach centers, right? She had her own torch center, and he had his own torch center, right? She was great in her own right, And then Rivka was more inward, and it doesn't make it bad or good. It's just it's what's mateen for them, exactly. Yeah, what's their Yeud,
or what, like how
exactly.
Hashem made their soul,
Totally.
Like,
So now, because we're short on time, I just want to look. I want to wrap this up in about 10, 15 minutes. By 9:30, we'll be out of here. If that's okay with everybody? Yeah. Okay. We are going to a very powerful meditation that is based on a book called Mirrors of Our Lives by Holly Pavlov. Amazing book, which is talking about the women in Tanakh, that they are the mirrors of our lives, and that we are reflected. Like when you look in the mirror, you see your own reflection. So the matriarchs are, when we look in the mirror, we're basically seeing the matriarchs as well. We're connected. Okay? So you all have the meditation in front of you?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So we're going to read it out loud together. There's a power you'll see when you read it. It's almost like a chant. Okay? So we're going to read it together. I am Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. I possess within me faith, strength, and beauty that was imparted to me by my mothers and all the holy women, all the generations that came before me. I am a link in this rich, strong legacy of spirituality. I'm a daughter of my imahot. They are rooted in my spiritual DNA. I am never alone. I feel my mother's love and guidance in my life. I choose to walk in their footsteps. My path reflects their images and characteristics. Their voices continue to ring out with strength and wisdom. Their examples serve as channels through which divine presence is revealed to me. The lives of the matriarchs, prophetess, and righteous women are a mirror of my own dreams, hopes, fears, and frustrations. Through this mirror, I see myself as a Jew, as a woman, as an individual, and as part of the whole Jewish nation. They provide me with guidance as how I should approach my relationships with the people around me and with my Creator. At this moment,
I
connect with the infinite wisdom of my mothers. If you see any mistakes, let me know for the next time.
Who's the author of this?
You wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote it, but it's Mirrors of Our Life. It's a lot. I extracted a bunch of different lines that I saw in the book that spoke to me.
What is
Who's the author? Imahot, Holly Pavlov. Holly Pavlov, Mirrors of Our Lives. So it's like in-depth study into the matriarchs. Imahot, Ima is mother. Imahot are plural for mothers. So we are the daughter. Now listen to this. When I think about it, I want to tell you something. When my son was dying and he was 3.5 months in a coma, I had this meditation on my phone. And halavai, and I wish that I felt as close to God as I did then. Like I was so, even though I was in the shadow of the valley of death, like I was literally, the angel of death was staring at us, like in our face. I felt like I was not alone. I really connected with the matriarchs. I held their hand. I said, listen, I'm in the ultimate nightmare that any parent could go through. My son is basically dying and I could do nothing about it, you know? Obviously, he's still trying things and doing research, but he was in a coma and then he was brain dead. So there was really nothing to do. It's just, he was intubated, so we had to wait for him, for the heart to stop. But I never felt alone. It was so scary at moments that I had to always connect with the matriarch. And not just with the matriarchs, with all the holy women of all the generations before us. There are so many women that sacrifice themselves, and that's what we are here today. You understand? If they didn't sacrifice their life, let's say my grandmother, when she was a Holocaust survivor, she came to America. She refused many jobs because they wanted her to work on Shabbat. She said no. So if she didn't keep Shabbat, not necessarily would her grandchildren be Jewish, because there's assimilation, you know? But because she persevered and she was stubborn about it, so today, thank God, I'm carrying the legacy and I'm continuing to keep Shabbat. So there were many women, like we're talking about during the times of pogroms and persecution, heavy persecution. These people kept to their values, the women especially, and the principles that kept the families going. That's why I'm here today. I owe them my life. Statistically, we're all not supposed to be here. We had so many things against us. You understand? So we are the carriers of this torch, of the legacy of spirituality for the next generation. Okay? So it's a really, really big responsibility. Okay, we're going to the last tool, and this is an amazing tool. And I want to introduce this tool. This tool is called chutzpah.
Wait, is that it?
Chutzpah masterminding. So do you all know what chutzpah is? What is chutzpah?
There are
Define
2
chutzpah.
pages, okay?
Yeah.
There's 2
Nerves.
pages.
Chutzpah is when a kid,
Wait,
yeah, what a
they all
nerve you got,
go?
so chutzpah. How else would you define chutzpah?
One
There's
second.
only one there.
It had 2 pages in it, so I'm trying. There was
You wanna
one
go?
on consciousness and one on chutzpah mastermind, but we're just
Okay,
gonna
I'll
do the-
start
do
the,
the chutzpah mastermind.
okay. So chutzpah is when a kid talks back to you and you say, no, you're not going in front. He says, yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's chutzpah, right? So chutzpah has a negative connotation to it, but we're taking now chutzpah and making it the kedusha. So you could use it on the holy side, where you basically don't take no for an answer, where you make the impossible possible. Okay? Our Rabbi Niven, and by the way, all this material comes from Rabbi Niven, so I want to give credit to that. And if you've never joined his chaburas, consider it. He has shorter modules, like you don't have to commit to 3 years. He has modules that are 6 weeks. They're on the phone, they get recorded, you can't listen to it. I think they're up for a week. He's amazing, changed my life. And I owe a lot to Rabbi Niven. He says, what is chutzpah masterminding? To mastermind something, what is mastermind? What do you say?
To start it, originated, be the originator.
Exactly. The mastermind is like to try to figure out a solution to a problem, to a challenge. Okay? So he says, how about we use chutzpah in a kedusha way, in a holy way, and mastermind serious issues that we have and try to find them a solution. So what does he do? He says, throw it to Hashem. Let's say, and this is in connection with your Yeud, how to make your Yeud a reality. Let's say you really want to open up a rehab center, like you feel that's your Yeud, like you have it with people and you believe in this and you're immersed in the idea of addiction is bad and, you know, but you have no idea and you're clueless. You really don't know how to start it. You would need a lot of money, right? And you would need time. You throw this predicament out there saying, okay, Hashem, and this is a perfect time because the time of Hanukkah, we're above nature. And I have used chutzpah masterminding in my own life and seen miracles happening in front of my eyes, open miracles. And basically putting 2 situations, here's what I want, and here are my problem, I can't achieve it. How do I do this? You throw it and then the answer comes to you. Okay?
Wow.
And we're going to give you the questions that you ask yourself.
We could even do it now.
We could even do it
something,
if someone has
I think so.
an issue. We could do it together with you right now as a
Think of it.
workshop.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I did chutzpah mastermind. I was like, How do I make my baby sleep? No, I'm just kidding.
That's a good one.
How do I make my kids grow up and they're only 1 year old? Send them to adoption. No, so the one I did, being serious, the one I did was this. I took a break when I had my son Alicia for a year, and said, I'm not going to work. I want to just really bond and have some time with this baby. But then I had this need to give, and I wasn't just being satisfied at home. I needed the money also, and I was approached by a great need in the community that I lived in. They wanted to be programming director of the shul. But I knew I didn't want to be, I had a very big job in the Jewish Federation of San Antonio before, and I didn't want to be that immersed. I wanted to have more flexibility and be with my kids. So I threw it to Hashem. I said, how could I be the programming director of this program? That requires a lot of, but I want to still have my baby next to me. I can't really, I don't want to send him away. And suddenly, I put it out there. So how could I achieve this, but I still want this? Still want that family time, right? And Hashem gave me the answer. It comes to you like prophecy. It was like, oh. And there was this girl that was in our youth movement. We used to be directors of NCSY, and she used to hang out on my house all the time. And she came from a broken home, and she was really lost. And she was always hanging out in my house. And I said, great. It would be so good for her, actually, if she could watch my son. And like this, she could be in my house. So if I need to nurse a baby, he'll be next to me. I don't have to send him away. And it would be giving her a home. And it worked. It was and I gave her some money. She loved it. It gave her a sense of purpose. She loved hanging out in my house anyway. It gave her a home. She loved it. She had purpose. And it worked beautifully for me. I had my baby right next to me. I could work on the computer. And if I needed to go out, she was there. But it worked amazing. I was able to achieve that and that. Okay? So now, do you want to present
how to do it?
Yeah, how to do it.
Great. Okay, so let's everyone think of, identify a problem. You could even write it down that you feel like you just don't have an answer to. It could be a very small problem. It could be a big problem. Whatever. Just think of one, like something that if it pops into your mind, write it down. If not, or just think about it, whatever. Okay. So then we're gonna ask yourself the 5 prerequisite questions. Okay. So the first number 1 is, do I have a value of living a life that I love? So it's yes or no. Or you could ask it a different way. Or do I have a value of not settling for a life that I don't love? Okay. Then
so do you basically believe there's a value that you should live a life that you love? Okay. Let's say, for instance, I'll give you where raising kids, it's hard, right? So how to make it easier, right? So sometimes you have to buy help. This is where chutzpahdik masterminding is how could I not lose it and raise my kids with joy? Okay, you understand? Mm-hmm. So then an answer comes to you.
Okay. So then is what I want Hashem's will, Ratzon Hashem? So that, and if you're not clear about that, then sometimes you would have to ask a Rav or something before, because Rabbi Niven says this is such a powerful tool that you can even use it in a way that could
it's
potentially,
not good for you.
Yeah, I don't know, if there would be something that might not be in align with either the Torah values or mitzvos,
Right, exactly.
or certain things
Some businesses might not be right.
Right.
Or dealing with a business situation certainly not be kosher.
Right, exactly. So you have to make sure that it's really according to halacha, Hashem, what Hashem would want. So it's an interesting. Number 3, am I intimidated by the contradiction of my question? So that's actually the yes would be the question for this. It's sometimes we're so intimidated by it that we don't even want to ask it, or we don't even allow our mind to think about it. So half the challenge is coming up with the question because we're so intimidated that we don't even want to come up with the question. So
it could be such a big predicament, something you really need something for peace of mind and balance, but there's no way you could really achieve it, you think, right? So you're not even going there. You're no, I give up on that, right? It's I really want to do this course that's going to require a lot of money and me being away from home. But let's say I want to be a coach or a counselor, and you could put it out there, say, how could I do this? How's this going to be possible when I have all these odds against?
Well, I'm
this?
still a good, happy, content mother. Can I still be a content mother and do this intense course And then what Rabbi David says is, whatever, one of the other things is at the end of your question, you could say, and still be happy at the same time. Because sometimes you see those two things and you're like, well, I could do it, but I'm just not going to be happy. So you add that little phrase at the end. It's at the bottom, number C. You could add at the end and still be happy at the same time. Because that kind of, like he says, it allows your lower soul to kind of be on board that, wow, okay, I could do these two, let's use that example of like, take this intense course and be a happy, like, and be a content mother and still be happy at the same time. Because that's really what you're looking for. So, okay, am I intimidated by the contradiction? And then, do I believe that Hashem has the answer for everything? Which he does. So yes, and then if you say no, like whatever to that, then you would just have to like,
Go back to school.
no, I don't know, like really just like boost some of your Amuna principles, or I don't know, or something to be able to allow yourself, like, because that's very important in it, that like you really have to know that Hashem can do anything and he could give this to you, and it's like everything is there.
Do I believe that, I'm just repeating it for the online community, do I believe Hashem has an answer for everything? Okay, so that. And number 5.
Do I really want the thing I am masterminding? So if you say it, like let's say this taking an online course that's intensive, if part of you is kind of like, well, I don't really want it, I actually rather do this and that, like it has to, like, you have to kind of come to a certain will of like, this is really what I want, and this is like really what, like these are two things I really want. And so like almost like I don't know, he calls it like a unified will with your desire. And sometimes even just having that almost creates ability in general.
The biggest question, right?
Yeah.
That's the big one, yeah.
Because it's like we have all these dreams and they start accumulating.
Right.
Due to procrastination
Okay.
and
Okay.
organization.
Welcome to my
right?
life.
Right? And then it's like, okay, so how do I align? Do I really what I want, or is this really what should I pursue?
Yeah.
Or do I need to tweak it, or do I need to, like the compass?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a friend
Sure.
that she's taking a coaching course, and it requires her to be in London, I think 4 or 5 times a year.
Wow.
And she also, like, it's a ton of money and it's a ton of time investment, like online every week. And it was like, she's very busy. She has a day job, and she has really 2 jobs and she has a bunch of kids, So it's like she had to do this basically out there. Like, I really want to do this because it's really her yeud, she feels, to be this coach. And, how could it happen with everything in my life? And an answer came. And they figured it out, So they buy more help and they took a loan and they're getting more help at home because she has this goal. Because in the end, could replace her day job also, you know what I'm saying? So Chutzpah masterminding, it's very miraculous. Like when you start doing this, taking things that don't seem possible at all. And say, I don't know how this is going to happen, Hashem. I've got this will and I've got this situation and I'm trying to merge them through. And it doesn't look to the surface that it could work out, right?
In the natural world, maybe
In the
it
natural world, it couldn't,
Yeah.
Can I share with you like what a rabbi did for Pesach? So he found that Erev Pesach was a disaster. They're coming to Pesach out of breath. They're like, instead of going to Geula, redemption, they're like in Galut, just fighting with each other. It was too much. So they basically started this thing where they told the kids.
No, he did chutzpah master.
Right.
He said, how can Pesach
Be more enjoyable.
Be like
Erev Pesach.
Erev Pesach and the preparations, all the different things to be,
more enjoyable. And what came to him was basically, from what I heard it 10 years ago, they started with him and his wife would take all the little kids and the older kids would stay at home. So no kids are around, right? They'd give it a big incentive, like a big thing that he gave them. And they'd go on vacation and the big kids would finish the house like chick-chack, 2 days done. And then they get to join the vacation. So then they were coming into Pesach so relaxed. They were in the beach for a week. No one's in Israel during Chol HaMoed. You can't find a piece of sand. You know how it is in Israel, right? Bein Hazmanim, the whole country's on vacation. You can't find parking. So the beaches are full. You can't find any space. So going a week before Pesach, no one's around. You have the whole beach to yourself. You have all hotels are very, very inexpensive. So it was so beautiful. It was kind of like, how could I make Erev Pesach more enjoyable? And then it came to him. Let's go on vacation.
Doesn't work for everyone.
Okay, no, it doesn't. But anyone want to do with us a chutzpah mastermind right now? Declare, I want to do a predicament in your life that maybe will come to you right here, prophecy. Something you really want, but doesn't seem possible.
You can't be much.
What? Oh, okay.
Working here.
Okay, cool.
The handicap.
Yeah. You got to put some time and work on it, my friend.
That's
Okay, cool. Anyone want to share anything? You want to do a chutzpah mastermind with us? You have something clear, or
We could help you figure out the question also.
Just balancing like work and
personal life?
personal life.
Okay, so what's the contradiction? What's inside? What's the contradiction of it?
It's like a lot of travel,
Okay.
building a team. It's the logistics of it, the manufacturing part.
So how to build your business,
Yeah.
in your career,
And then
While
what do you want in
you're
your
building-
family?
while
What's the
While you're building a personal, like, you know what
personal life,
I mean?
like,
Yeah.
and still
Personal life.
maintain
the
That-
connection
yeah.
to other people, like
Yeah.
to personally of people around you? Okay.
like, it's like balancing relationship
Yeah.
and career.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that
That's the hardest part.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also giving yourself that self-love. You know, it's like, it's the massages that I do once a week at minimum, and
Right.
buy
Okay.
yourself flowers and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
Take yourself to coffee dates.
Yeah, I like
Sure,
that.
I love it.
Oh,
I feel like that puts like it helps everything in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't. Yeah. So it's the three things. How do
Yeah.
I build the
The
Business.
business, yeah.
take care of myself and my interpersonal relationships?
Yeah.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Okay, so would this question be okay, so right, how can I build the business? Take care of myself and interpersonal relationships and be happy at the same time.
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, you can write it down if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'll wait. So, okay, do you have a value of living a life that you love?
You believe in that
Of
principle?
course, yes.
Is what you want in this question what Hashem would want?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, makes sense. Are you intimidated by the contradiction of like that you feel like it's not possible or like hard, kind of?
You think you have to give up something? You feel like you have to give up something?
Just a lot of time. A lot of be more what's the right word? Selfless? Selfless giving. Just give. I feel like I'm still holding on to my time where I just need to.
So you feel there could be a contradiction here because there's building relationships, because there's giving of yourself, and then you
Yeah.
feel like there's this part of you still wanting to build yourself.
Build
and
myself.
yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. So, right? You heard?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. The question might be a little bit different though.
Yeah.
I'm
So what do
trying
you
to figure it out though. One sec, could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So. So I'm also like on a journey of like the self-love and like starting a business and stuff like that. But it's how do you find that balance between starting a business is just like draining, but it's what I want to do,
Right.
and I'm pairing that with my Yeud.
Right.
But
Is
also,
the business your you?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. But also like my personal life.
Right.
What like wanting to start a family and
Right. Settling down.
settling down.
Putting time into those relationships.
Okay. So is the contradiction is that you don't have enough time for both?
Just like setting that time, like that boundary and that balance. It's like it's been a challenge for me.
So how to balance that?
Yeah,
Okay. So I think that's maybe another question.
yeah.
is how to balance
Because it's like
both of them.
overwhelming.
It's almost
Yeah.
like both of them need all of your attention.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So how can you have almost full attention, time, and I don't know, like effort in
Exactly.
two areas at the same time, in two
Even
large areas,
'cause I
three
need
large
to
areas,
fill my
three
cup
large
too.
areas.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so it's so funny because his other question was, how do I make? It's like this, like how do
C,
I make?
Guys, look at C. Is it C?
Yeah, number C. It's at the bottom. It says, I'm just comparing your question to this
Yeah.
one. How can I make double the amount of money in half the amount of time and still be happy at the same time? So your questions are like kind of similar. How can I, put almost full
All my energy
all my energy
into all these different fields and still be happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
all my energy and all my time into into myself relationship, my interpersonal and business,
Yeah.
and still be happy at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. Okay, so how?
By
Okay.
the way, I'm just for a minute, you write that down, but the question of how do I make double the money in half the amount of time, I've done that where I'm in situations where I'm working for like hourly salary and said I'm done with this, like it's crazy. I'm building other businesses up instead working for others. And at some point, you're willing to take that leap of faith, say, Hashem, how could I make less, spend less time and make more money? And the answers come to you. The answers come to you. And it's not so simple,
No.
Like people who worked in an office for like 20 years. And when they do this suddenly change of mind and they realize, wait, but I want to be more of my family. And I don't want to be building out I need to make more money. I keep just like living, kind of like paycheck to paycheck, So I think anyone who's gone independent, and that's really what you're doing, is building your own business, is in this predicament because like you could just go work for someone and you're not going to have so much pressure.
Right.
But you're really, because it's your Yeud,
Yeah.
it's your Yeud and your dream and your passion, it's going to require a lot. Yeah, right.
And my tikkun is being organized
Right.
and really take myself into hold myself accountable, and not procrastinate because if I don't do it, then no one's going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so do you believe that Hashem has an answer for everything?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you really want the thing this question that
I
you
do.
asked? Like, so now just you're gonna think of this question: how do I put all my energy and time into making my business successful, helping myself and interpersonal relationships, and still be happy at the same time? So give that question to Hashem in thought or prayer, and then we're going to be quiet for 30 seconds. Okay, right. So go ahead. Anything come up through?
Hire people.
Okay, good.
Hire. Yeah.
Okay. So what sort of people?
Like a graphic designer. Almost as like an assistant. And because basically what I do is I'm the one-woman show. I'll go to the manufacturers, I'm knocking on doors, I'm having meetings with these people. And then I'm also looking at the logos, I'm looking at the graphics, I'm in the art department, I'm wearing the coat full of pockets.
Yeah. You're overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
So having a graphic designer to do that role.
Yeah, the art, and then pretty much an assistant to come with me to the meetings and to have them follow up.
It's so funny because when you're saying that, when you first put out your situation and you said that the organization, that part, that was my first thought. I was like, if you hire a couple more people that would help you with that
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
it's worth it because you're going to do much more. You'll be
Yes.
so much more
You'll be
productive.
more
Yes.
productive.
With your time, they'll help you.
Yes.
They'll help you in that too. It's so funny because Rabbi Niven says that. He said sometimes with his tikkun area, whatever, like whatever he's told me of certain things, it's just like with sometimes those tikkun things that you really have a hard time with, like, I don't know, for me, I have a very hard time with budgeting. I really just don't like telling my money where it should go. I don't know, whatever. It's like, so I ended up hiring this lady. She's amazing. Her name is Alexis. I don't know, whatever. A monthly meeting with me, and like, I would not do it if I didn't have that meeting, and like, sure, that $100 that I'm spending is quite like it's making it back, like it's quite worth it, So it's just like those areas that you have a hard time keeping yourself accountable in.
Right.
That's when you hire someone, or have even whatever I don't know, have some way to outside make yourself accountable, and then it's I found that very helpful.
Flows.
You see, you cannot hire someone.
Look
to
at that.
date for you. No, you
Yeah.
can't. You can't hire someone to date for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
what
awful.
happened, my daughter was dating for 2.5 years. She was getting so burnt and so frustrated. She actually called me one day and said, Ina, now she's married with a baby, so I could say the story. Anyway, she's not on Facebook, so she won't see it. But I remember she was like, Ima, I so wish that you could date for me. If you could just go out on the first 2 dates, and then you weed out if you don't think they're good for me, So, but yeah, like I'm doing for my mom, My mom is so funny. She's like, yeah, you date them and bring them to me ready, It's so funny because I'm online dating for my mom. So I'm signed up for all that. My mom's a widow. And so she's not like techie. She watches Facebook, so she'll see this. But so I've made a profile for on different dating sites. And my husband comes in one day, he's like, is there something I'm not aware of? I'm online instant messaging all these 80-year-olds. I said, yeah, I just love these 80-year-olds now, So but I remember going with her once on one of the dates. I happened to be in Israel, and I called up my friend and said, oh, Mom really needs to get married. Do you have anyone? She said, I have someone. Could you meet him tonight? I was like, kind of quick, but let's do this, So we went and we bought an outfit. It was the first time she's dated since my dad died. It was like 5 years after he died. So she was very comfortable, very good, ready emotionally. She had a beautiful marriage, and she wants to be with someone. My dad was a great rabbi. So we come to the hotel. It's across from where my mother lived. So she was like, come with me. She's like a little teenager, going on there. So I come with them. We see the guy on the couch. And right away I could tell, not my mom's style. My dad was a rabbi. And I could tell he was not her style, So she's like, I want to go talk to him. I said, well, he's already here. It's not right. So she's like, why don't you come with me, So I walk over, so she's hiding behind me. So this 75-year-old man thinks I come over to him. I knew the name, right? Hi, Baruch. I'm making up a name. I don't remember what it was. And he's smiling ear to ear. He thinks he's going out with me, right? And I was like, hi, Baruch. This is my mom, And my mom's like pinching me. She wants me to stay there with her. I was like, no, I'm not dating for you, okay? And so I split home. She was so funny. 45 minutes later, she lives on the 5th floor. She ran upstairs and came home. Like she was like in a chase or something. I'm like, what happened? She's like, a guy. It was just so funny. and it was like the funniest thing. It was such it's sad, such a bad date. And yet literally a half hour later, my friend who introduced them said, he loves her. He wants to marry her. I was like, really? Would you go out with him again? No, really not, Just be nice. Just do it for me. And no. Because it would fall on me, and I'm not doing that. Anyways, so I want to wrap it up. I want to thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to fulfill our Yeud. So you had to sit through this. But I hope in some way that you've gotten some inspiration and insight and get more focused. Because I want to tell you something, when you really do this internal work and you figure out what your personal mission is, or your feminine mission is, what your marriage mission is, your Yeud,
Children.
So, and your children, your motherhood mission is. So it's literally like lighting a cave that's very dark with a big, great flashlight. And suddenly you could see everything. And there's such a relief. You know, do you remember that story with the kids that were in Chile? Where was it? They were stuck in that cave
Yeah.
for like, what was it, like
Yeah.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And when they finally got rescued, wow, what a relief that was,
They were
you know?
fasting.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They didn't eat
They didn't eat, and I think at some point they were able to give them things but couldn't get them out because they're afraid it was going to cave on them. And what a relief for them to finally see their first rescuer in there. When you figure out your mission, it's that kind of feeling. It's like there's clarity because you have clarity. So now you're like, it's not like I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, you know. And the Chutzpahdik Mastermind, we decided to end. There's a lot of tools to help you make your Yeud a reality. But we decided to give you this tool because we're before Hanukkah. Chutzpahdik Mastermind creates miracles in your life. Like you suddenly get an insight that it could be very simple. You're like, why didn't I think about this before? Or you thought about it before, but it wasn't so real to you, right? And suddenly it's like a light. Don't even censor yourself. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Of
you
course,
just
but it's
receive. You just
mastermind. You
like,
just receive.
like allow
You
your
ask a
mind to
question
blink. Yeah.
that is totally impossible. How can I do this and it's contradictory? Let it come through you. Don't censor it. And you'll be surprised. Like within 30 seconds to like a minute, you get an answer, you know? And you could start using this in every area of your life. And Clara, I know that you have certain questions still. And
No, I
ask
don't.
questions.
I feel very content.
Yeah. I'm so
I've decided
happy.
just being alive is my Yeud.
Hey, Baruch
I
Hashem.
think very.
Why-
I think that's my problem. I feel too content with life.
Why? It's a beautiful thing.
I know, but I always feel there's something that the next
You're
year's going
missing
to go
out?
up.
No.
I really do. I think there's something wrong when you feel as content as I do.
No,
Even
maybe
with
you're
pain.
living life that's fullest. That
Yeah.
you're like just like Baruch
Right.
Hashem.
Yes,
You're in
I-
your element. You know,
that's
Hashem
how I
doesn't
feel.
want us to be anxious and confused.
No,
and
no, I really do feel if I could do more for my grandchildren right now, that would be the only thing I would change in my life
Amen.
and getting rid of this pain.
Amen.
But,
Amen. So by the way, those are kind of things you could put with a mastermind.
Yeah, the pain. How could I?
How could we solve this issue? You know, with
I've-
this and that. If let's say someone says like, I really need to do this in order to feel good about myself, but I don't have the money. You know, I got a friend. She needed a nose job. She decided she was gorgeous, but she was obsessed. And I don't blame her. She hated her nose. You know, so she couldn't afford surgery, but she put it out there, and somehow it kind of worked. That she found someone who does plastic surgery, and they bartered. Like she needed something that she had, and it worked. So I'm like, just let Hashem. Like you gotta throw things to Hashem. Stop trying to be in control.
continuously. So I
Right? The
do
only
that.
way to do it. Survive life is through.
I'm not quitting, you know.
For sure not.
I'm very content to be where I am at
Baruch
what stage of
Hashem.
life. So I really don't.
Wow.
I think that's my
Baruch Hashem.
problems. I don't have any real complaints, not for myself.
No,
You
maybe
know, you
that's
always
what
have them
Hashem
for your
wants.
kids, for your next generation, for your
Yeah.
grandkids. But myself, I feel like I reached the stage of life without any real problems,
Baruch
and
Hashem.
that's an unusual.
That is
situation.
huge.
It is, and I'm
Beautiful.
very
Blessing.
content with that. And I have kids that I wouldn't trade for anything.
Baruch Hashem.
No complaints about mine. I don't want to kill them.
Yeah, no, you know
Course
that
they-
when
I
you
know,
say it.
But they're grown up already, so
Yeah.
I think I must have had a lot of. I must have wanted to
I
kill
don't
them
want
at
to
some
kill
stage
my
of life.
kids, but I just want to put them in jail.
No,
For a little
some-
while, till they're
someone
18.
came to me when
My
my kids were
two-year-old.
young
Oh.
and said, "Every mother loves their kids, but you like your kids." And to this day, I feel the exact same way. I
Yeah.
really like. I even admire my kids. I
Isn't
said,
that amazing?
It is. And so
I
said,
admire
what
my
more-
kids because I'm starting to see they're greater than me. They're better than me.
Oh, I've
Baruch
always known
Hashem.
that. As
Baruch
soon as they
Hashem.
grow up.
When you see your kids are better than you, you're like,
Oh.
I've done something right. That they have
Right.
integrity, that they have values. I'm like,
My
man,
kids are
I'd
so
love to know
terrific.
your
I
mother.
don't believe they're really mine. No, I realize my problem is I'm really content with what
But
I
it's
have
not a
and what I am.
problem.
Well, I don't mean it's a problem.
No,
I mean
meaning that
the
you're-
question, yeah, they're
you're-
saying, shouldn't I be doing more? Or shouldn't I be a little better? And I'm saying, why? What? I mean, you should do more, but
Right.
what more are you aiming for? Except I'm willing to hang around and see watching my grandkids grow up.
Amen.
Great.
Amen.
And, well, they coming like little weeds. I mean, that's wonderful.
So beautiful.
We had like my daughter had 4 grandkids in about 2 months.
Beautiful.
So now she's trying to convince me I'm going to Israel with her so I can go meet them all.
My
Yeah.
I'm
God.
saying
You
yes.
should-
Well, but I
with the
can't
pain.
walk very much. So I told her I'd let her know this week.
So here's Chutzpahdik Mastermind. How could I go to Israel where there's a lot of walking and you can't walk so much? So like see what comes. So maybe you just take more cabs or you hire. Like
Well, that is not. You know, when you're going around, lots of kids kind of heard there. I mean,
yeah.
3rd generation were over there. And I'm saying, I don't want to be a burden. That's
No,
my
but
only
Clara,
thing.
they
Right, so
want
you could
you.
say, how could I not? Like, if that's your
Yeah.
worry or something, that's what you.
Well, right. So we're working on that. If she hasn't made the reservations already, then I'll say, what were the dating? So it was 2 months. So if it's cold,
I
and
think you
rainy,
would love, don't go now. It is
well,
starting
I
to get
can't.
cold.
I have to go and she can go. I don't
Ah,
have
when
to,
she
but I would
goes,
go
right.
and she can go. And
Yeah.
that's whenever school break is
Right.
for her school. She works in
Got
a
it.
school.
You will give them, don't ever worry about being a burden. Like
Well, I know, they're terrific. I mean,
my father-in-law's like that. And he doesn't realize, like, I want you to be a burden. I'm like, we love him. We love him so much. We want to do things for him.
right. So that's,
You
I mean,
know?
I really, and it's strange, because I went through lots of crazy stuff in my life. And to reach this stage without any
Sure.
real big problems is, to me, a miracle.
Clara, you're my role model.
I don't want to be anybody's role model.
No, really. 'Cause I know what you went through in life, and
I
all
tell my
advice.
kids, I said,
could come
they
to a
become
place-
my role model, except that they still call to talk and feel
How beautiful.
verified, not verified, what's the word?
Validated.
Validated, thank you. My kids were big followers of Miriam Adahan. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
In fact, my youngest one knew her well when she lived in Israel. So
Wow.
Interesting.
it's
She
actually,
moved out of Israel, man?
huh? No, my daughter moved out of Israel.
Ah.
Her
okay.
sister lives near my daughter.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing. I love her.
Yeah,
voice.
she really is. I mean, they had this group that they would,
The Emmett. Emmett.
yeah, Emmett,
yeah.
yes. And all the books around the kids' houses.
Yeah, beautiful. So I want to thank all of you. Hanukkah
Thank you.
Sameach.
There's another, if they want to do any, like, I'm just saying, like,
What
there's
is
more,
it?
there's more tools. Like, I don't know, like, if you,
We could entertain the idea. Stay tuned, Labuyut. There are more tools in the toolkit, and maybe we'll start another maybe 4-part series after winter break. So let me
Yeah,
make sure my
let's-
marriage is still surviving, and
right, a little bit.
and then we'll do a little break and we'll come back. And this is an amazing lady.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much. Like I thank Hashem every day that she's in my life. And really, I've gained a lot of insight and the depth of this. And I think we make a good shidduch.
Yeah, I love it. I love doing it with you. Yeah, I want to do it more.
There's
You're great,
Hashem, and use her because she's available for one-on-one coaching.
Yes.
Call her, make an appointment. You saw
Yeah.
she has wisdom. She helps you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And she's really a light bulb. So use her. We have a light in our community. We have to use it. I'm not just doing this. I don't get any percentage for it. I'm not going to get a break if I want to have one-on-one with her. But no, I'm just.
No, right now I'm doing them not for payment, whatever. I just want to learn the skills because I'm just like starting up with it. But I don't know what Rabbi Niven did say I should be charging for it because people will take it more seriously also. But whatever. So
I think you should charge a little bit for it.
yeah. Okay, fine.
You have.
Okay.
She's very good at what she does. I feel like you do dialogue very good. Yeah. And
Okay, fine. So maybe
love
like a
you.
small thing.
Yeah,
just
it's
whatever.
just permission, right?
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you
work.
all.
All right, thank
Shavuot
you.
Tov. Sorry we went a whole
All
other
right.
hour.
It's worth it.
Okay.
Okay,
so
thank you.
much.
Rabanit, I know I'm
Okay.
but how can I pay? I want to do the donation.